Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. So, happy Friday. And today, let's talk about all the scary macro stuff that's happening today. And here's the thing. Trump is not going to back down. So I reported this last night. He's not going to bend at all with his tariff stuff. Okay? He's going to continue forward. And Scott Benson and Howard Lutnick, they are in full agreement that short-term things could get really rocky for the stock market and everything else. But long-term, this is good for America. So be prepared for anything short-term. And even when asked about recession, Trump was asked directly about recession. J.D. Vance now asked about recession. No one is ruling it out. That's the thing. I know no one can make guarantees of anything, but you figure if you ask a question like this, you would at least hear something like, no, we're going to make sure that even though there may be short-term, disruptions or volatility, we're going to make sure that, hey, the U.S. is not going to fall in recession. We're doing the opposite. We're going to make America great again, right? But, no one is saying that. No one is ruling out a recession. That's a little scary to me. It's like, yeah, we're going to make America great for the future, but, we might fall into recession now. That's not what we want to hear. And even though no one really likes ECB President Christine Lagarde, she says Trump will trigger a global recession, not just a U.S. recession, a global recession, since there's going to be a trade war everywhere with, the European Union, with China, with obviously countries in North America, everywhere. So this is what causing, obviously, markets to be very, very, very volatile recently because no one really knows what the hell's going to happen. But you know what? Like I said, markets are oversold. Very, very, very oversold, right? So despite all these things, you could obviously, like days like today and other days that we had during the week and last week, we're getting bounces because investors are starting to realize that we're just too oversold. There's so many bargains. And long-term, fundamentally, a lot of things haven't changed besides just fear about short-term, but especially like with Bitcoin. It's the reason why it was created because of all these shenanigans, right? So that's the good thing. Even though there's a lot of scariness right now, there are still a lot of great things to look forward to. Here's something else that short term can be good. It does seem like this ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine is moving forward. This 30-day ceasefire. Russia is optimistic about it, and Ukraine already said they're going to go through with it. So this is good. Short term, if we get a ceasefire, and this leads, of course, to the war ending after how many years? This could be a big catalyst to drive things upwards again, right? So, pretty good overall. What else is there? IRS, it's tax season. I don't know if this is good or not, but Doge is going to slash IRS staff by 20% after slashing already a whole lot. So if there's no one to review your taxes, is that a good thing? I guess we'll count that as a win. So Elon and Doge continuing to slash away at staff all over the place, trying to cut down irresponsible spending, right? Which all sounds great. But you know what? Here's the thing. Do you even need the IRS if we don't have to pay income taxes? Because that's the end game, right? to just eliminate income taxes. So if you don't have to pay income taxes, why do you need IRS? Or at least you don't need a majority of it. If the end game is to remove income taxes for anyone earning $150,000 in the U.S., and that's probably the majority of people in the U.S., right? That makes a lot of sense. But whether or not that's actually going to be happening, that's a different story. But I just find this whole thing interesting. And I don't think we're going to collect enough tariffs, okay, to be able to offset that. That's just an enormous amount of money, if that were to happen, that we would not be collecting. All right. So that's the macro stuff. What else? ETFs. Wall Street, obviously, it's, I don't even have to show this. I haven't been showing this for a while. But it's pretty obvious who's selling off Bitcoin, okay? Bombardment of sell-offs from all the funds every single day. It's slowing down, but it's still hundreds of millions of dollars every single day. Look at all the red, right? So there's no question where the sell-off pressure is coming from. And here's the thing. We all thought that ETF buyers, Wall Street funds and traders, we thought they would be the strong hands, the ones that are the smartest financial people on the planet. But turns out that most of them are just aping and FOMOing, and they're doing the same thing that retail investors do. They don't understand. They just aped in because they knew that Bitcoin was the fastest horse in the race. And now they're getting out just like lettuce hands, right? They're scared and they're selling it off, right? But the thing is, not everyone's like that. Not everyone's like that, but a lot are. So that's the reason why we're getting such massive sell-offs every single day from the ETFs. But those, again, I've been making this argument, those that understand will not. Those that understand will take advantage.